What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another week of Clickbait. Like always, we have the Bachelor Nation breakdown. And we also have Michelle's season about to premiere. And for Michelle's season, we decided to bring Tia on to Clickbait. Tia, what's up? How you doing?
Hello. Thanks for having me, guys.
Honey, this is Clickbait in paradise.
It really
Never
is.
done a podcast before, and now we're doing back-to-back. So
Are you excited to be here?
I'm excited. I am.
Yeah.
I've never listened to an episode, but...
Well, that's a really shitty way to start this, but okay.
Somebody,
All right.
look, Tasha, where you at, girl? Come back.
Unbelievable.
I never listened to my own either.
No, but we're gonna have a lot of fun. So I'm happy you're here. And we are gonna give you Bachelor Nation breakdown, Clickbait of the week, and then our guest, my very own fiance, Serena Pitt, and I'm excited to interview her. So let's get into this. First Bachelor Nation breakdown. Tyler Cameron makes a cameo on SNL, Saturday Night Live. Did you guys watch it?
How did he get that?
I watched the clip.
Right? How did he get that? What
I want to know. I want to know why I wasn't there as the Bachelorette. Sorry, Kim.
Yeah, if you guys didn't see it, Kim Kardashian played the Bachelorette, and then there was it was John Cena, Chris Rock,
Chase Crawford,
and my celebrity crush,
which is
Jesse Williams.
Oh, Jesse Williams.
I've said 1,000 times. Listen.
Wait, is Jesse Williams from Grey's Anatomy?
Yes, honey.
Okay.
He's beautiful.
Dr. Avery.
Beautiful.
Yes. I was like 10 years old watching him being like, one day I'm going to meet him. Listen, listeners, I need y'all to do me a solid. Just go slide in his DMs and be like, Natasha from The Bachelor.
Is he married?
No, he's not married. He's single. Come on. I'm not that type of woman. You know me.
All right. So if this will be good. If either of you were Kim Kardashian as the Bachelorette on SNL, who would you have chosen out of that group?
Oh, honey, I would have done a Dale I would have did a Claire Crawley real quick and been like, yo, Jesse, we out. Let's go.
Gotta go.
Okay.
God, who else is even on there? There are more people. Maybe
John
Blake
Cena,
Griffin.
Chris Rock.
Oh, Blake Griffin.
Blake Griffin. Yeah. Blake Griffin.
Love a tall guy.
So that's who you would have chosen?
I love a tall guy too, but...
Neither of you would have picked Tyler Cameron, our very own?
No.
Okay. Tyler Cameron, good for him. He was on SNL. That was very very cool to watch. Kim Kardashian, the whole thing. So good for him. All right.
Wait. He says, see you in the hot tub. And I loved that. He gets his token for being a token man and then says, see you in the hot tub.
Good for him.
So on brand for our Bachelor Nation peeps.
Kim in like a bedazzled Sherry Hill dress is just bizarre. It's not normal.
Like that wasn't, it was weird. I actually noticed that too.
Like seeing her figure in a dress that like normal people would wear to prom or like on The Bachelor is very bizarre because it wasn't a head to toe like black ninja outfit.
What did you?
Yeah, it's actually very true.
Interesting seeing her figure like in a dress that she wouldn't normally.
Yeah, wouldn't normally wear.
Yeah.
Did you guys like her monologue? Yay or nay?
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
I didn't even watch that part.
Yeah, I didn't really watch it.
Oh, right. you gotta watch that part. Okay, moving on.
All right, moving on to our next breakdown. We have first ever Bachelor in Paradise Canada has begun. And we got some familiar faces. Tia, we were at our first season of Paradise. Kevin Went, who's the bartender, was on our season.
Freaking love Kevin.
Camille, who I believe at the reunion you told him to fuck off.
Guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know who this person was.
Who?
He's the one that fucked with Annalise.
Yeah.
And like broke up with her on the reunion show. And just embarrassed the shit out of her.
Okay, so you hear this. The listeners need a recap too.
Camille's just a tool. I'm like, why is he still on these shows?
We have Angela. She was also on our season. She was on Nick Viall's season of The Bachelor. We have the Brendan, who's a Canadian from Katie's season, and Caitlin from Colton's season, Alina from Matt James's season.
Alina.
And Alex
Ileana?
Ileana, yeah, probably saying that wrong. And Alex from Rachel Lindsay's season. So.
Okay, that guy's he's done a few shows too, right?
I think so. Okay, so let's talk about this.
He's handsome.
He's done
He's
like
very
VIP Australia or something. Like
He's very handsome.
He dated Caroline on one of the other Paradise shows in another country.
So how do we feel about Bachelor in Paradise in other countries? Like, because now I mean, Tia, you and I have done Bachelor in Paradise, United States of America twice. Natasha, you have done it once. Would you ever go on one of these, like Canada, Australia, or no?
Okay, so Australia, because I've dated a few Aussies.
They film it like in a cool location too. I don't think it's even in Australia. When Caroline did it, she was in some beautiful exotic location.
But
Seemed
are
awesome.
the people is there a bunch of like American people or people from all over, right?
Just clearly the Canadian one is you have people from Canada and you have people from America. So
but like some of it is like fans. Half of them are just fans of the show and not old contestants.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, what? Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
it said some of them are just fans, a mix of 12 Canadian and U.S. Bachelor alum faves, along with 14 Canadian Bachelor Nation fans.
Well, so
that's
when I read that, that did not register that
they weren't on the show.
It's Bachelor Nation alum. Okay, gotcha.
And fans.
Yeah, gotcha. I literally didn't. I thought that every single person, on these shows were alone.
Okay, so we can't just let that slide. Let's talk about that. I mean, what if they put fans on Bachelor in Paradise, our Bachelor in Paradise? You know how crazy that would be?
Yeah, but it's like...
but at some point, I feel like a lot of people lie about not watching the show beforehand, and it was like a lot of people are fans before they go on the show, right?
Okay, but you don't have the experience.
Known at that point. It's like, what if a fan is just like into you because they're a fan and not actually into you? That's kind of bizarre.
Yeah, but then I think they would have to make that decision once they meet you. Like I thought I was into this person, but maybe I'm not now. Now I'm into Aaron.
True.
You know,
I think it'll be really hard for the guys because there's so many women that watch this show. You don't know how many people be coming up to me talking about Joe. I'm like, y'all know he engaged now. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Everybody I talk to talks to me about Joe.
They're like, Joe.
People my age, my mom's friends. I'm like, you appeal to every generation.
Yeah.
I don't, that's
would you have dated a fan? I mean, pre-Serena, we know that. Yeah.
I wouldn't even consider them fans. I would have dated somebody that never had participated in the show before. Yeah. I mean, if I met him and liked him, sure. I think it's like Matt James, for instance. He was never on the show. He just was the Bachelor. I think that's a very difficult transition.
Ooh. Now, that's
true.
a good question. Was Matt James a fan or was he just Tyler's bestie?
I think he was just Tyler's bestie.
Tyler's bestie, yeah. And then you could tell on his season that he wasn't used to being on camera and doing interviews. I feel like he was nervous for a while.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't
I
really
will
used
say
to
that we had Marissa on the podcast last week and we were talking and Marissa, she went home night one, and there was a moment where I had to pull her aside and be like, Marissa, it's okay. She thought like all these things in her head because she just hadn't went through a full season, and I don't know if Joe, when you first went,
I can attest to that. I remember. So I remember our season of Paradise and just that first day, feeling really lost because then you're down there with everybody that has experience and knows what they're doing, and I just felt really, really lost. It took me, I would say, 3 or 4 days before I was like, okay, I belong.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of know what I'm doing now.
Right. Yeah. I think she was waiting for like cues. Like she was waiting, like, when we would all be sitting in a group setting, she'd be like, I really gotta pee. And I'm like, girl, go pee.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead. She's like, is it okay? I'm like, it's okay. Yeah. Trust me. Just go. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that where she wasn't really comfortable. And so I think for a fan, bringing it back to that, I think for a fan, like not knowing, and then of course having other people there that is knowing, I think Mr. Bartender Kevin gonna have his hands full.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because it's that whole crew of people that aren't used to it.
I think it's going to be great. So we're going to see how it goes. I think, the franchise, people have been dying for the franchise to shake things up. So this is definitely shaking it up.
This is definitely shaking it up. And for our listeners, who knows? You never know. Maybe it goes really well and they want to bring a fan on to Bachelor in Paradise US, and it could be you. So DM us, let us know what you think. You never know. You could be on the next season of Bachelor in Paradise.
They're all attractive too.
And also, let's talk about the fact really quick that they're trying this over there, and if it goes well, then they might do it here.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying.
Why not?
That's what I'm saying.
Woohoo! We ready.
Yeah, you never know. Okay. Our last Bachelor Nation breakdown, we have the Bachelorette season 18 premieres on Tuesday. Michelle's season. How do you guys feel about it? What are your plans? What are we doing?
I love Michelle. I think she's so great.
I saw this clip of her kissing a very tall gentleman, Nate, from her season, and it was like just a montage of them just going at it.
Okay.
Oh.
So what are you saying to us right now?
And I said, yeah, it's steamy. The season looks like it's going to be real steamy.
I accidentally saw a spoiler and I'm pissed. I like just going into it blind just so I can make my own judgments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never understood spoilers. Like even when when Netflix comes out with the show, they release the whole show. I don't go to the last episode to see what happened and then rewatch the show. I want to see it happen live. I want to be surprised. But anyway, so yeah, Michelle's season. So she's making out with this guy, Nate. We see the one guy shows up. It looks like the first day shows up with like notebooks.
Yeah.
There's one with no pants. Guy with no pants.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be, I can't wait to watch it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Looks like the guys are fighting already. So it'll be a lot of drama.
I'm so excited for her. And also, there was also a clip that I saw where she was like dancing or something. And she just seems so, she really does seem so just like in her element or just
natural.
Natural. Yeah. And I think that from watching like Matt James's season, and we were talking about the whole fan thing and going back and forth from that, you could tell he was so uncomfortable in so many parts. And I think that maybe having that experience with him, she's like, I'm gonna make these guys feel real comfortable. Like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I'm really excited about that.
All right, what would be, so both of you are, as far as I know, are single. I don't know if you're not anymore, but let's just say you are.
Rub it in, Joe.
What would be I guess what would be your biggest fear night one being the Bachelorette, like being in Michelle's position, just for not the whole season, just like that day? Because day one freaked the shit out of me. Yeah.
Sending someone home night one that I can be very comfortable in a normal conversation with someone very early on because I'm not a nervous person like that. Sending someone home who is like clearly wasn't being themselves because they're just like culture shocked to everything that was going on. That I could have potentially had like a really good connection with. Yeah,
that's actually exactly what happened to me on Becca's season. So shame on her.
So you trying to say that Becca shouldn't have sent you home?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, it worked out great. It worked out great for both of us. So how about you, Tia?
Yeah.
Mine's way more simple than that. Mine would be just the nerves of not remembering everyone, so I don't really pay attention like to the conversations. And I'm like, well, shit, I'm not into anyone because I just was so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I think mine would probably be I would probably go with Tia, just being like so just too overwhelmed and not really like
soaking it in.
Yeah, and not really like being present for certain conversations that
and you're
could
like
have went
pulled
great.
In so many different directions too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is so good that we're talking about this because our clickbait is about being mindful and about being present and all those different things. And Yeah, I don't have that problem, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't.
Okay,
I try to be very present with people that I talk to, no matter who they are.
You are good at that.
But it's a practice, right? Like it's a literal practice. It's something that I practice. So that part I'm not worried about, but other things I think. But the nerves I think is just real for anyone on the first day. The thought that you will literally could potentially be meeting your future husband on this first day.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
It's pretty it's intense. The whole thing's intense, but we know that because the show's intense and we've done it multiple times now.
Yep.
Let's talk about let's get into the clickbait, because as soon as I read the article, I'm like, this is all Natasha. So let's go.
Honey,
kick it off.
Write it? Written by Natasha. Hold on.
I think you did. I think you did write it.
Yeah. So the title of the clickbait is "Using Mindfulness to Build a Stronger, Healthier Relationship as a Couple." So I am going to say that this article was really great, and I do love when we can talk about things that, of course, I'm into, like mindfulness. And I want to tell our listeners, mindfulness comes if you can implement it in every part of your life, in every relationship in your life, and even most importantly, the relationship with yourself, and being intentional about what we're doing and how we're doing it. So saying all that to say, something that stuck out to me in this article was when they talked about a fair fight, how mindfulness can help a fair fight. I think that when I used to work for Dr. Phil, and he used to always say, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? And that is so true, because there's room for both of us to be right and validated in our feelings in a relationship, in any relationship. Right? Do you want to be happy or you want to be right? Dr. Phil, I'm telling you.
I just want to be right. That's my problem.
The wise words of Dr. Phil. Well, okay, first, let's start at the beginning. Could you dumb down mindfulness for me? Because when I hear it, sure. I'm like, mindfulness, well, it was just, I'm paying attention more.
Yes. Okay, I love this, Joe. Yes. Yeah. So basically what mindfulness is, from my Natasha Parker definition, is doing things with intention, being mindful about things, because our brains are on an auto tune, right? We wake up in the morning, we get out, we sleep in the same bed, we sleep in the same spot of the bed, we shower the same, we wash the left side first and the right side. We're like on auto, right? And when you're mindful about something, it is actually thinking about what you're doing. I'm actually thinking about what I want to say to you right now. And instead of just blah, 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 because that's how we are. And we're so reactionary. We're taught, even as humans, to be reactionary. Someone texts you, you got to text them right back. Someone says this, you got to have an answer right now. No, you don't. When you're mindful, you can take time to be like, you know what? I'm going to let this marinate for a second.
See, I do that. I do that a lot, especially with texting. I'm like, if somebody texts me, I got to text them back right away.
Yes. And you don't. Especially when, like, imagine if someone texts you like a long thing, like, hey, Joe, when this happened, I really felt like blah, 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 blah. It's like, you should really take time to think about what this person said. How are you going to validate their feelings? And then also say how you feel. Well,
I guess when they send me a longer text message, I give it more thought. But if it's like, do you want to go eat? I pretty much give them a yes or no right away.
Well, that's different. Well, that deserves if you wait an hour, it's like, I ate already. Yeah, no, not that. But when your mind, like, for instance, I'll give you both and our listeners a mindful exercise to do. When next time you brush your teeth, don't have anything else around. Don't have anything. Close your eyes and literally feel the brushes on, like the brush on your teeth.
My therapist told me to do this.
Like, that's being
with,
present.
Putting dishes away. She's like, when you're putting dishes away, think about picking up the dish and placing it in the cabinet. Because I was like, I don't know how to sit and meditate and be quiet. She's like, well, do like these small things and just be present in that.
And those are mindfulness tips. Exactly. And so the same thing with, like, for instance, Joe, you're now in a relationship, and back to the clickbait, a mindful thing that people should do in relationships. Like, you know how, let's say you're going to sleep and you always like kiss goodnight, right? Like, mwah, like, you don't even think about it because it's just something that you just do all the time, right? It's like an intentional kiss we about to look. Wait till Serena get on here.
Okay, you know what? I'm
it's
definitely
so sexy.
Okay, so I'm definitely not gonna do the brushing the teeth thing, but
I'll think of something. I'll think of something that's good for your life. Okay, pasta.
But I get this. And so when I was in LA, I went to like this show that Elton John was putting on, and he came out and said like, I'm pretty much just like everyone else, but because I've done everything and I have everything, what I truly enjoy is doing the laundry and taking my time in the little things and just being present and doing that in the moment, which I guess goes to show I'm always so caught up in like, what's next? What am I going to do?
Same.
How am I going to get here? And
it's overwhelming.
Yeah. And I guess I'm someone that doesn't really, I will blow past the present, which I guess exercise is like brushing your teeth with your eyes closed and paying attention to the toothbrush.
I'm telling you, it would be very
on the teeth.
It's so therapeutic.
Yeah, I get
really
that.
Is.
Yeah.
And for you, I think cooking, like people have their cooking routine when they they have their music on, or they have the game on, or they have like all these different things going on, and they're cooking and they're doing this and they're doing their thing. It's like when you're actually making a sauce and like you like, I say close your eyes because our vision taints a lot of our other senses, actually. So when you close your eyes, you really can taste more. You really can hear more. You really can. Your other senses are just are heightened, right? So,
no, okay, but here's my problem. Okay?
I'm listening.
Here's my problem, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this. I'll take all this in. I'll be like, let me give this a try, and I'll do it for a few days, and it may be helpful. But then I'm just going to slip back into then it's out. It's like stretching. I know I need to stretch. I know it. Like I have to. I have to stretch more. And I'll do it for a week or 2 weeks, and then I just stop.
Well, like she said, though, it's a practice. Like you have
to practice. It's just like your muscles. If you don't go work out, when you do go work out and you start picking up the big weight, you're going to pull a muscle, right? So it's a literal thing that you practice, and it's okay to forget. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, I didn't do this or I didn't do that, or, I forgot to do my meditation. I'm like, let me sit down. Let me do it really quick. It's okay. Like, I mean, we're human, right? Like it's fine. But in your relationship, the same thing happens in our relationship. We fall into this very auto mode with our person, and we think that they know what we're thinking. We've been together for a while. They know how I feel. Why would this happen? It's like,
and you take those little moments for granted too. Like you get used to that goodnight kiss, and you get used to all that stuff, and you don't really savor it as much as you used to. And there's one part in that article that says, like you just kind of listen to respond. I'm very bad about just listening to respond and not like actually listening. And then I'm just quick to anger, and then it's just a whole fucking thing. And
Jesus, what is this podcast become?
I tried to use this article this morning.
I'm like listening now, and I'm like, but I got to change my life.
No, you know what I literally would love to do? I would literally love to do a couples meditation with you and Serena. Like it literally builds closeness. Like it's seeing someone for the first time that you've seen every day, because you're seeing like them in their most I don't want to say vulnerable, because that's not you've seen each other vulnerable, I'm sure, but I mean, like you're almost like the spirit
the stripped down version of yourself.
Yeah, and in this present moment, it's not like thinking about this, thinking about that. It's like you literally are like nothing else in the world exists, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons why you love her so much, because she probably gives you some sort of like presentness, right? But in this article, we lose that sometimes because we get in an auto as humans, and then we get in an auto as a relationship, and then things blow up, and sometimes you don't know how to deal with that. And I think that I always say this, it's very important to understand that people's feelings aren't valid. How you feel is valid. How I also feel is valid. How do we get to a solution? Right? I love you. You love me. We're not seeing eye to eye right here. How do we get to a solution? And I think that there are mindful things that we can do to think like, oh, wait, when I said this, I now understand why she felt that way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you're taking yourself out of it. And I think that being in the present moment is something that are, people, it's so funny because I was with Shannon, yesterday, the other day. And she literally messaged me after the conversation that I had on the show. And she was like, do I need to start meditating? Do I need to start like, something like that? Cause how did you just be so calm in that moment? And it was just like,
Yeah, because her mind runs 1,000 miles per hour.
right.
And her mouth can't even like catch up.
Exactly. Because again,
But I think a lot of people that are on reality TV have that same similar, like my mind's constantly running.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
But I think it's not even reality TV. I think that we are programmed to be like this. Look at how many things we have that are going to, that are our distractions, right? I think a lot of people are like this.
And busy is like a new personality trait.
Right. And so that's why, like we said, it's a practice to really, and again, for you, Joe, it might not be the brushing the teeth, but whatever it is, there's also another trick that people say. I really need to write this down somewhere, do a video about this. But when you're feeling really anxious, to put like a rock, not a hard rock, but like put a rock or a pebble in your shoe.
Well, is there a soft rock? I mean, all rocks are hard.
No, but like a pebble, not something that's sharp, not like a sharp rock, but like a pebble, put it in your shoe and pay attention every time you walk, one shoe or for 1 foot, and pay attention to that. And that will ease your anxiety.
I heard that before. Yeah,
I've
heard that before.
Mm-hmm,
Heard that before.
I'm gonna be walking around with fucking gravel in my shoes.
Yeah.
Add a new pebble every time.
There's a lot of different things, and I just think that exercising mindfulness and like you said, Joe, even figuring out what it is and what it means to you and where you can implement it in your personal life, but then also transition it over into your relationships is very important. And listening, I think, is the biggest piece of this article, in my opinion, just to wrap it up. When I say, like, there's a thing called active listening in yoga. And basically what you do is you have a conversation with someone and you repeat everything that they're saying to you. And I'll do it one day without you guys knowing. I'll do it on a podcast without you guys knowing one day. And you'll be like, oh, wait, what? And in relationships, people feel seen when all you say is literally what the other person is saying back to you.
Do you say it back like in a question, or do you sit there and say, I'm going to repeat what you're saying?
No. You don't tell them that you're doing it. You don't tell them that you're doing it. You just do it. So basically, how was your day today, Tia?
It was good. Had a good day. Went to the doctor.
You had a good day. You went to the doctor.
Okay.
You're like, yeah, I did. Like, good. All right. It's kind of like that, but you're normally talking about something deep, right? And
yeah, it helps you stay present, I guess.
Exactly. And what this person is saying.
Okay, well, this is I will try like one or two of these things
on Serena. Try it on Serena.
Yeah, on Serena. Well, I could actually probably try it on Serena right now because it is time for our guest. I'm very happy she's on the podcast as a guest. Everyone, please welcome my fiance, Serena Pitt, to Clickbait. All right, Serena's here. Now, I know Serena thought that she was going to take part in this interview with me, like we were going to be interviewed, but I'm actually interviewing you right now.
Oh, really? Are you?
Yeah, so we're going to have a little fun.
It's not about Joe today. It's about you, honey.
I don't know if I should be nervous or
we weren't
excited.
quite sure. All right, here's the thing, Serena. We were not quite sure of your intentions when you first walked on that beach.
Shit.
Oh, wow. We're starting off hot, are we?
No. Commodity.
Here it is, man.
No, I'm joking. So everything's out in the open now. You're engaged to a strapping young lad.
Young.
Hey, really? You're coming at me already?
Oh.
Coming at me already.
Oh.
Hey, listen.
Y'all see why y'all my
35 is the new
favorite.
25.
It's true.
So how is everything now since your wonderful, lovely, beautiful, romantic engagement, and now that you're finally open and you could talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, Joe, this is so weird answering this question to you.
Well,
you've been doing it with me.
The people want to know. The people want to know, Serena.
The people
want to know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, things have been amazing. They've been fantastic. The relief is like nothing I've ever felt before after that last episode finished. We're just so excited that, everyone can know and we can share it with people now and be out and do normal people things and not be in hiding. So yeah, things have been great. I have no complaints.
Did you ever get caught hanging out?
Yeah,
Yes.
we did.
Once.
Right in the beginning. Right
yeah.
day one.
And I told him. And I saw Serena right before that. I said, Serena, tell him no. Tell him no. Tell him Natasha said don't.
Natasha was like,
Do
where
not
did he
do
take you? Where did he take you?
Yeah, but he
okay,
did it.
so I did read. I do want to talk about this. Then Natasha, you could ask, but I did read. I forgot what article it was where you said that every day gets better and better with Joe. Could you maybe go into more detail with that?
Joe's trying to stroke.
I can't, you know what? Do not answer that. Do not answer that.
I will no longer be answering questions from Joe in this interview. Tia and Natasha, take it away.
Listen, no. This is what I'm going to ask you. I want to know the real tea. What did Mama and Papa say when you came home? What did they say? How did you break it to Mama and Papa and the fam? And were you nervous? I want to know about that.
Yeah, so we were able to call them. We did a FaceTime with them. So I think it was the day after we got engaged from Mexico. We were still there. I was
on camera,
nervous.
off camera.
On camera. So
Okay.
I FaceTimed them separately from Joe. I was like, let me go, break the news, and then once they feel ready,
break the news.
we'll bring you.
But when you came home, were they when you came home, was your mom like, girl, so are we sure? Like when you came home and like there were no cameras, it was just the fam. Like, what was that feeling?
Well, and I'm sure they did. I'm sure they of course they had the question if she's sure. I mean,
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is they never really questioned if I was sure.
Okay,
I'm
good.
pretty decisive when it comes to relationships, and this is obviously a huge decision. I'm not very rash in my decision making. I really think things through. I've always been that way. So they never were like, are you sure? Mm-hmm. I think when I said I'm engaged, they definitely knew I was sure about that. And I think they could tell right out of the gate, like I was so happy, so in love, so excited about the relationship. Like they could see that and feel that from me. Mm-hmm. So that was something that they could have confidence in, was my excitement and like certainty in the relationship and the engagement. Mm-hmm. I think what it comes down to, it's just the shock. Like we did things very out of the typical order, and my parents always imagined, me getting engaged and them knowing the guy and being a part of the engagement, having someone ask for their blessing, all of those, stereotypical things that you get when you have a relationship and then get engaged in like a very chronological order. So they I don't think they expected me to get engaged. I didn't expect myself to get engaged. So it was understandable that they were just completely shocked, and it was a lot of like what they expected my engagement to look like versus coming to see this is the reality of what my engagement now looks like. So it took them some time, and I think their main concern was just like taking a deep breath, processing it all, and then getting to know Joe. Like they really were like, we want to be a part of this. We want to share this with you. And step one of that is meeting Joe and, seeing what you love.
I saw your sister's post about him, like she got a new brother or something. It was really, really cute.
My sister came on board.
Posted. It seems like they're supportive.
She came on board right away?
My sister was on board right away. Yeah,
so
she was very excited.
But during hometowns, I always say there's an MVP. Like when everybody has their hometowns. On Matt's season, your sister was the MVP, honey. I said, yep. She knows. She knows something's up.
Okay, so Serena, though, you for real, you honestly said like you did not expect to get engaged, and you're not a rash person. You don't make rash decisions, which I know you really don't. So what did Joe do? Like, what was it about Joe that you were just like smitten, I guess would be the word.
I mean, this is so bizarre. Stop referring to yourself in third person.
Well, it's like, there's a chance you could get engaged, but you don't just expect, like, you don't know you're going to.
Yes.
I mean, she knew that going into it.
Yeah. I think going into it, I struggled to get there the first time on my first season. So I was very skeptical of like, I was optimistic I could find someone, but it's like, am I actually going to be able to get there of like, I'm in love with this person. I see a future with this person. I want an engagement with this person. So I think part of it comes down to like the format of Paradise was really ideal for me, really worked for me. And the person, I mean,
Yes, that was more of where I wanted the question to go. But no, I think it's funny because I think you and I keep talking to you like I'm interviewing you, but we're very similar, and I don't think either of us expected to fall head over heels in love and get engaged.
Do you? Yeah. So speaking on that, do you would you say the same thing, Serena, that you guys are very similar and like that was something that surprised you?
Yes, we are very similar. I think we fall in a nice middle ground of like being similar and different. So like
totally.
We think alike, like our opinions on a lot of things line up, like what our interests, like the life we want to live, our goals, like the big things are similar. And then we balance each other out nicely in ways too. Like
because he's grumpy and you're sweet.
Exactly, Natasha. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
But do you think I'm grumpy?
Joe,
no, you're not grumpy.
But Joe, you called yourself grumpy. I saw that post.
No, I could be at times. I could be grumpy.
Yeah.
At times.
Yeah, you definitely get in your head about stuff, and then I think I do a good job of like calming you down.
You do.
How has been navigating seeing each other? You live in Canada. For our listeners, if you don't know, Serena lives in Canada. Joe lives in Chicago. But you guys spend a lot of time together. I know, Joe, you've been there, and she's been in Chicago. So how is that going? How often do you have a plan, like on a calendar? Like, we're going to see each other this weekend, blah, 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 blah. Like, how is that?
Yeah, we're definitely planners when it comes to when we're going to see each other, just because we want to spend as much time with each other as we can, but obviously we live in different countries. And on top of that, we have like our own lives and our own opportunities and stuff like that.
What's the longest amount of time you've gone without seeing each other?
2.5 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Like
that's not bad.
Little over 2 weeks. So what happened when we left Paradise, Serena came to Chicago, and we hung out for 10 days. We got caught the first day. I made a mistake. Should have never walked around in public. It was my bad. I take full responsibility.
We felt very bad.
Say Natasha, you were right. Say it.
Natasha, you were right.
But then after that, we pretty much hung out in my apartment for like 10 straight days, and everything.
And
we did more than survive. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It was always very like every
you did
day.
More than what?
We did more than survive.
What?
Every day was really nice, and it just kept getting better. Which I think is what you want in this.
Yeah.
In a relationship.
Now we're getting better at the distance. And like we definitely have like planned out our schedules for like the next month to know like exactly when we can see each other. But in the beginning, that 2.5 weeks felt so long because we met and then we never separated from each other. Like we had never had time apart. Like we were together morning to night, all day, every single day for a full month straight. Got engaged, spent a couple days together in Mexico. I went and saw Abigail in New York for like 3 days, which felt kind of long. And then we were together for 10 days, literally nonstop, because again, we can't go anywhere. So it's not like he's going out with his friends and I'm doing something with my friends. Like it's 24/7 together.
Yep.
And then we separated for 2.5 weeks where I was back in Canada, and that felt really long.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. It's good that it feels long because you miss the person.
Yes.
And what's good right now is that we are only an hour away, and we're able with the
flight, right?
Because
the flight is an hour.
Yeah, it's an hour flight, and we are both planners. So as of right now, the longest we're going to be apart will probably be like a week here and there. But for the most part, we'll be back and forth from Chicago and Toronto, and then come the spring, we're going to figure out where we want to live.
I'm so excited.
All right. So this part I really protested against, but I gotta tell you about it. Okay, so every season there's a new cast, and we go through the photos. and we did your season. Would you like to hear my first impression of you? And I don't even know what I said. I just know that they have this clip.
I would love to. I would love nothing more.
See, this is bullshit because I don't get to hear. Yeah, I mean, I guess you should be.
No, you shouldn't.
Because I don't know. I don't know what my.
I mean, what are you going to say?
Roll the tape.
I hope it wasn't negative.
Roll the tape. It was not negative.
My top 4 would be Serena P from Toronto.
Okay.
Serena P.
Did you see her?
That's who you think. That's who you think's gonna win.
Yeah, I think she's really, really pretty. Now I'm basing this.
Wait, Serena C.
P.
P.
As in Paul.
There's a P.
Yeah, there's a Serena P. She's from Toronto. She's very pretty.
Yes. Toronto
got,
girl. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. She's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Why? What is it about her that like really just draws you? Why her?
Well, I think she's really, really attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm basing this pretty much off of looks because that's all I could do. I don't have anything else but a fucking paragraph, and I can't really go off of that. So if I'm going to base it off of looks, she's got really nice skin. I really like her hair.
Did you stalk her on Instagram yet?
Now listen, I understand that this answer could be shallow, but that's all I have to work with, okay?
Okay, got ya.
It counts. Count it.
Cut it off. Wow.
Whoa,
I really talked you up.
liked me.
Good first
I guess
impression.
so.
Look, tell the people, are you pregnant right now? Look. Because that's what it sounds like.
I am not.
Yeah, I remember your yeah, I guess
You're
I mean
stunning.
I remember
You're stunning.
skin.
Say it. You're stunning.
yeah, I was into you. So I mean it clearly worked out.
It did. It's good you were saying that about me and not someone else. And they played that back.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Serena, what was your first impression? Was it the same?
So I don't really know what my first impression would be because you were
She didn't know who your ass was.
No, I did.
No,
it's
she
just
did.
that like I had watched Becca's season, so I remember like the grocery store Joe blow up, and then I watched a little bit of a season of Paradise, but not much of it.
Mhm.
So I didn't really remember him from that.
Mhm.
And then I think so. I guess my like biggest impression of you would be listening to Brie on Clickbait because I hadn't listened to it really. I think I listened to the first episode when I was stranded in Nemacolin in quarantine waiting to go on the show. And then I listened to it when Brie was on. And I actually was like, oh, he's cute. Like I was like, Brie, he's cute. Like, what are your thoughts?
And what did Brie say? Girl, that's all you.
Brie was like, yeah. She's like, Brie was like, I'm not dating in Bachelor Nation. I was like, fair.
Yes. I hear that. Yeah, I remember, and Joe is telling me, for our listeners, that this is not true, but and maybe he just told me this on the phone because we talk after the podcast a lot as well. But I remember him telling me before when like the whole Paradise thing came up. You know, I was like, so who would you want to see there? Blah blah blah, da da da. Because we were talking, you know, Matt James's season had just ended, so we were like, who would you want to see there? And he 1,000% said Serena P. Honey. Yeah.
And he tried to play it cool and act like he didn't say that. Out loud.
You definitely said
I guess I didn't. Well, here's the thing. I guess that's probably why. I guess that was one of the reasons why I did get flustered in that first conversation because I do like once we got to Paradise and we were doing like pre-interviews, I was saying like Serena P is one of the people that I'm interested in.
That's when I heard it.
Yeah, and then when I talked to her, I remember thinking, oh shit, I was into her and now I like her.
Yeah.
Which is because sometimes like, you know, you think you're going to be into somebody and then you meet them. You're like, oh, I was wrong.
Yeah. Joe was like, please be a bitch. Please
Patty
be a
daddy.
bitch. Please be a bitch. He was like, damn it. She's so nice. And sweet.
And then he threw himself into the ocean for 3 hours.
It's so funny because they didn't show this, but like when I came down, me, Abigail, Ivan, and Joe were all standing at the bar. And Joe's like grilling everyone, like, who do you want to meet? Who do you want to meet? And everyone's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, fine. Like, who do you want to meet? And Joe was like, oh, I want to meet you. Like I said your name, I wanted to meet you. And like so confident right at the gate. And then I went over to him like for our first conversation. Like I went over, Natasha, you and Joe were talking, and me and Ivan came over to hang out with you guys, and Joe and I ended up sitting and having that conversation that got shown, and you just lost it. Like you lost all your swag within like 4 seconds. But I liked it. I liked it. That was cute.
Yeah, that was that's what happens when I like someone.
So
if my swag would have been consistent, then I would have probably not have been that into you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were, and now we're engaged, so
yeah,
it all worked out.
I remember watching Paradise back and being like, because even though we're all on the beach, we don't get to see the private conversations. I remember watching it back and being like, all these dating books that everybody like reads, like don't show all your cards, be mysterious, do this, do that, blah blah blah. I'm like, Joe, what are you saying right now? What are you doing? But in Paradise, all those dating rule books go out. They go out. Like you guys literally were someone who, you guys were literally one of the couples that was just like, they're just saying exactly how they feel in the moment and the things that were thrown at you. So I definitely give you guys kudos to that. And I think that now going into the real world, you have no questions. I mean, of course you're engaged, but you have no questions about, who, what, where, why, because you've been so open with each other.
Which does help a lot leaving the show and stepping into the real world. It makes the transition effortless.
Yeah, no questions about it.
Advice for people that do go on the show in the future.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to try to let yourself go.
Yes. So
it's hard. It's hard as hell.
So Serena, I want to talk about why we are so happy for you and watching your love story on TV. There's another love story coming up, Michelle's season. One of your friends. How close are you guys? Let our listeners know. How are you feeling about her season? All the good things.
So Michelle I would consider like a close friend of mine. She came in late on Matt's season. So we didn't start getting close until like later into the season. And then our friendship just like really continued after the season.
She was one of the add-ons?
Yeah, she was one of the girls that came in late.
Came in hot, honey.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember thinking she was so cool, and I'm like, I'm not supposed to like these new girls. They're too much competition, but she was so cool.
No, she was so cool. Her and I like bonded right off the bat. I think she was just a little reserved because obviously she was coming in late. And then, we've just continued on that friendship. So, I mean, I talk to her on a regular basis. I'm beyond excited for her. I think every promo, she looks stunning. The hair, the makeup, the fashion, her personality shines through. I think it's going to be a great season. I'm going to watch every episode. And I'm excited to be off TV and be able to sit on my couch and support Michelle.
And watch her. Yeah.
Were you worried at all that it could be overwhelming for her?
Yeah.
For Michelle, no.
Or do you think
like nervous for her?
Okay.
Michelle is just like a very like steady person, and she was a high level athlete. Like she was like a D1 basketball player. That might not be the term. I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the term.
D1 basketball
I was
player?
D1 too.
Sure, you were. Okay. And and I just think like that intense environment where it's like very demanding and it's like physically demanding, exhausting, emotionally demanding, like she handles it well. She handled it well on Matt's season. And I think that she's showing up. Her goal at the end of it is to find her person, and she's going to do everything she needs to do to like work with the men, work with the producers, and achieve her goal at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you had to, so you know her, if you had to pick out the perfect guy for her, what characteristics must he have, if any?
I mean, Michelle has a really like big personality. She's very playful, very fun. So he definitely needs to have that. Like, I could never see her with a shy, introverted guy. Like, he definitely needs to be goofy and fun and sarcastic. Yes, absolutely. Like, she needs someone who is going to be like a power couple with her. Like, walk into the room, super charismatic, have such a presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would be like the
Okay.
main thing.
I'm gonna be looking for that on the season. Like, who is that guy? Who is that guy?
Mhm.
Did you offer any advice to her before she started filming?
Now that you're a very happily engaged woman and the process really worked for you.
Yeah, so now that I'm a happily engaged woman and the process really worked for me, as Joe said, I'm trying to remember what the timeline was because I believe I came back from Paradise and so I came back from Paradise and she went to film about 3 weeks later. So we got to chat a couple times. And I remember saying to her, because her and I are similar in the way we approach relationships. And I went into Paradise skeptical, and I think she was hopeful, but also skeptical going into being the Bachelorette of like, could this really work for me kind of thing.
Right.
And I said to her, like, I wasn't sure. And I really just leaned in and let myself go and trusted the process as much as I could and followed my heart, and it worked, and it did. And I think that it will for you too, but you just gotta put the fears aside, like put the heartbreak from last time aside and lean in, and you might get hurt or you might find the love of your life.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really,
How you doing?
That's
I'm here.
Hi,
That's-
Joe. That's you.
that's
I
really
know.
really beautiful. Oh, I love that.
I know, I do too.
I want to know really quick, what was your thoughts on Joe's family?
I love Joe's
By the
family.
way, by the way, not to cut you
Yeah.
off, I'm gonna preempt this. I don't even know if that's a word. My family and friends love Serena.
Okay.
They like Serena more than they like me. My dad yelled at me
Absolutely.
right away and said, "If you break this girl's heart, I'm gonna kill you." It was legit what he said. I'm like, I just got home. But go ahead, Serena. Go ahead.
No, I love his family and friends. They've been so sweet, so supportive. Joe speaks really highly of all the people in his life, and I know that they're super important to him. So I was definitely like a little nervous meeting them because obviously you want to make a good impression, but no, they're fantastic. Joe keeps telling his parents that I don't like them. He keeps being like, "Guess I told my mom today that you don't like her." Ha ha ha.
Why would you do that, Joe?
Mamas don't forget that stuff
No,
either.
I like to tease my parents and I have a little fun with them and it's funny and I laugh.
I'm glad you laugh. It's not gonna be funny when they start to believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't.
I don't tell that. I tell my dad that you like him more than you like my mom. My dad's like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Now that's
my
funny.
dad's like that makes sense. That makes sense. That's what he said. It's actually very, very funny.
Oh, I love that.
Meeting Joe's parents for the first time, he picked me up from the airport. It's the first time I went to Chicago after the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in like biker shorts and like a hoodie. I have no makeup on. I'm like right off the plane, right? Like I had like a 6 a.m. flight from New York. And he goes, "Okay, we're going to go right to my parents' place." I was like, I have no makeup on. I'm in workout clothes. I don't have anything to bring them. Like I don't have wine. I don't have flowers. I don't have a gift.
Yeah.
I was so nervous, but no, they're lovely people.
Yeah.
I was very excited for my family to meet Serena.
And you look great without makeup. You do. I saw you waking up in the morning, girl.
Yeah.
I did.
All right. Well, Serena, we talk all the time, so we're coming to the end of the road of this We're coming to the end of the road of this podcast. Thank you for coming on. But we're gonna play a game.
Yeah.
That's why I was gonna intro the game, Natasha.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
You do it.
I'm like, he's
go
trying
for
to
it.
say bye.
All right, but Serena, with all our guests, we do always play a game. So answer wisely. Let's do this.
Okay, Serena, here's our game. It's called Would You Rather. Would you rather live in a mansion in the middle of nowhere or live on a beachfront home on a remote island?
See, both of those would stress me out because I'd be so isolated. I would be like, I'm definitely getting murdered here. Like, I am not safe. I think I would go beachfront island, but I'd have to have a boat to like book it to shore if an emergency happened. The cabin in the woods
Quick
thing,
escape.
the cabin in the woods thing, like that freaks me out.
Yeah, that was that was basically
Good.
the mansion or paradise. You pick paradise. Good girl.
Yeah, look at that. I didn't even
Oh
realize
yeah, that's
that.
true.
So true.
Only be allowed to drink champagne or only be allowed to drink tequila.
Ooh, tequila.
Same girl.
Nice.
Wear nothing but ball gowns or wear nothing but swimsuits.
Swimsuits.
Absolutely.
Paradise again. Be handing out roses or receiving roses.
Oh, receiving.
And the
Receiving.
the correct answer is neither because I'm engaged.
Okay, but honestly, in Paradise, I got so nervous every time I had to. I mean, it wasn't even nerve wracking. I knew I was giving it to Joe every week, but it was like standing up there with the rose is weirdly nerve wracking, and like everyone's staring at you. Yeah, I was way more relieved when Joe went up there, and I could just like walk up and grab it and walk back.
Yeah.
Same.
You
I
have to
agree.
wait for the.
It's handing out the rose is
You guys
very
always had
stressful.
really cute things to say to each other too.
Yeah, we always
when you
tried
guys
to
were-
one up each other with like cute little comments.
Yeah.
But one time I grabbed the rose before you asked me if I wanted it. It was like a
That was actually really nice. That actually loosened me up. I was so happy when you did that.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, okay, now we could
I
chill.
love that.
Because it's a tense moment when you're standing there with the rose. It's you feel, and everyone's watching you, and we're all just like standing there. It's so weird.
Yeah. Okay, few more here. Be on Dancing with the Stars or be a bartender in Paradise.
Oh, that's hard. I guess I probably would Dance with the Stars because I grew up a competitive dancer. So I think that would be like a cool, unique experience.
Definitely. Sleep under the stars or stay in a hotel.
Stay in a hotel.
Nice. We love hotels.
Yeah, I was gonna
Joe,
say, Joe?
Joe is
Yeah,
obsessed
love
with
hotels.
hotels. If I'm sleeping under the stars, I'm sleeping under the stars alone. Like Joe is not coming with me.
Get matching tattoos
Bugs.
or matching piercings with Joe.
Oh gosh. Maybe matching piercings. Like we could each do an
Belly
ear.
button piercings.
Oh gosh.
Really? I was gonna go tattoo.
You were gonna go tattoo? What do you want to get for
Yeah,
matching tattoos?
We could get like a sandal or something. Not a sandal.
Like a
like a
Palm tree?
like a palm
A
tree. Yeah, like that's
sandal.
what we meant. Last question, Serena. Go a year with no TV or a year with no music.
Oh,
Ooh, I'm gonna go a year with no TV.
I would
Ooh,
agree.
Really? That would
Well,
be. That's,
can I
that's-
still go to
that's
like
gonna be-
the movie theater? Can I still watch movies?
No.
Like no movies, no
No.
TV, nothing?
You can't watch anything. You can't even watch YouTube.
Not even
I-
YouTube?
No,
Oh,
no,
that's not TV.
Okay, I don't
You can't-
know. I love like listening to music in the car and stuff though. What do I listen to? Just like the
Same.
radio?
Or like when you get ready, you're just listening to music. You don't even have to watch anything.
Yeah.
Well, technically, we could watch a music video on TV.
Okay, let's go TV. Let's go TV. Because when you and I are hanging out, we like to binge
Nice.
TV shows.
Joe
Okay, all right,
like
actually-
changed your answer to
Yeah,
make
Joe
it
was like,
suit
that's
him. He's
not
like,
gonna work
yes.
for me. We're going TV.
We need the TV.
Okay, Serena, what's your favorite quality about Joe?
Aww. Joe, did you write this one? Did you put this one in there?
I did.
He like
I
added
did.
it at the end.
I'm gonna go two. I'm gonna go your sense of humor because we're always laughing and having fun. We have a very fun, playful relationship. And I'm gonna go how caring you are with the people in your life, both me and your family and friends. Very thoughtful.
I love it.
Very sweet. Very sweet, darling. Okay, Serena, thank you. I will call you in a little bit. Thanks for coming on.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye,
Bye,
Serena.
bye, Tia.
Later.
Bye, everyone.
So this podcast and the last one I did on Happy Hour was with Joe and Serena, and it's you two like still are the best of the best. I love talking to y'all. It's so sincere and sweet, and just a reminder that this show does work, and it's just so nice to see, especially with you two talking about just being able to just let go and trust the process. It is very, very hard to do, and as someone who's done it a few times, it's very hard to do, and it's so cool to see you two do it. Love
Oh,
talking
thank
to you
you.
guys as a
Thank you,
host
Tia.
or as a guest. So
I'll tell you what, though, it was pretty bizarre listening to myself talk about Serena before
yeah.
I even knew her, and then listening to that and being like, yeah, I got engaged to her. It's
right.
pretty crazy.
And of course,
But-
first impressions always feel a little shallow, but I mean, of course
Yeah.
she's cute. You want to be into
Yeah.
her.
It works. So yeah, but there you go. I loved it too. And It was so nice to have her on. And Tia, I'm happy you're a part of the Clickbait family now. We're going to do this every week. Thank you to you. Thank you to our listeners. And thank you to Serena. And as always, make sure to subscribe and submit all your burning questions. Check us out on social and like, comment, DM us. You know where to find us at ClickbaitBN on Instagram, Bachelor Nation on Twitter, and Bachelor Nation on Facebook.
You guys share your stories with us. We want to know what clickbait you're looking at this week. Love to hear it all. Love to talk about it all. And subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Wondery app, or wherever you're listening right now.